Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing layoffs in the Thai tourism sector. And I've had a lot of people ask me this question, both on a personal level, in person. I've had people send me emails on this, comments on the channel, basically asking, how many people do you think have been laid off by, the situation, the response to COVID-19 in Thailand? And I really haven't had an answer to that. And recently, while researching other matters, I came upon some information that I thought was pertinent. And I came across this in the Thai Enquirer. The website is thaienquirer.com. Article is titled, Bangkok Golf Course Closed After Caddy Tests COVID Positive. And this really, there's a lot in here. This is a really good article. But this one excerpt doesn't really have, it's not directly on point to the rest of the article. And so I would urge those watching this video, go ahead and check this article out. But quoting directly, the Tourism Council of Thailand said more than 50% of workers in the tourism industry, accounting for 2 to 3 million people, are being laid off as the pandemic has forced businesses to close temporarily. I think a little bit of clarification is in order there. I hear this a lot, and I especially hear this in the Western media. The pandemic didn't do anything. The response and the government policies stemming therefrom or in response thereto have been what have caused a lot of these business closures. Let's be clear there. Now, clearly, lack of actual tourists is having an impact as well. But 2 to 3 million, I mean, that number is simply staggering. 2 to 3 million people. I believe Thailand has a population somewhere between 65 and 70 million people. That would account for 4 or 5%, at least 3 or 4% of, jobs in Thailand. People being laid off just in Thailand generally. That is just a staggering number. And when you think of the second order effects, the sort of downline impact that has on the overall economy, I mean, it really puts things in perspective. And truly, my thoughts are with those people in Thailand who are struggling as a result of all of these closures and being laid off in these sectors that have traditionally been rather resilient with respect to the economy here in Thailand. So yeah, folks have asked me that. That sounded like a pretty sound assessment. And again, this is the thaienquirer.com, and they appear to be quoting Tourism Council of Thailand with those numbers, 2 to 3 million people. Clearly, 2020 was a bad year for Thailand, especially the tourism sector, and 2021 is not starting particularly well. And I certainly hope that we see the situation change fundamentally or substantially enough that we see folks who are suffering as a result of not being able to work in Thailand in the tourism industry, see their fortunes change, and hopefully we see that sooner rather than later.